Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. It is Wednesday, January 13th. Sitting next to me is Mike Brenner. This is our daily NBA odds show that we do every day. And of course, Mike Brenner, we are keeping records. Mike Brenner has me up there 2-1. Before we started filming, I'm like, Mike, I'm sure that's not my record. My record is not that good in 2016. But I am perfect at record keeping.
Okay.
Sometimes people try to track people on the on YouTube comments, and I'm always correcting them. I'm always right. I will go back, watch all the shows, and I will perfectly track our records from now on.
So tomorrow will be updated.
Yeah, tomorrow will be updated.
And by the way, everybody was loving your haircut. Now you took it to another stage. So
yes.
You know what they say, every woman's crazy about a sharp-dressed man.
Well, I look like
Loshak's looking sharp.
Well, I look like Vin Diesel.
Jesus,
right?
I love it. Yeah, you do.
I look like Vin Diesel.
Maybe you could be his double in his next movie.
Yeah, I look like fucking Vin Diesel.
You better put on a couple pounds.
All right, yeah. Hey, here's a good one. That was a good one, Mike. All right, so Alabama, did you bet that game? What a crazy game,
I bet it heavy, and I had a very heavy bet with a big wig out in Vegas. And long story
Really?
short, that last touchdown that Clemson scored, I mean, I was looking good. They were up by 11 or 12, whatever, and the line was 6.5. Killed me.
Just in Vegas, it was a $10 million swing.
Yes, and that's what I heard.
Yeah.
I actually heard it was larger than that,
Larger than that,
not much larger. I heard like 12. But I absolutely believe it. And you know what? It's something like that just sometimes you think the football gods are just going against you. But hey, it is what it is, and that's why they play. We get up and bounce back.
Well,
hell of a game, though, as a fan.
Yeah, you can chalk it up. You can chalk it up to one of two things. You can chalk it up either to variance, or you can chalk it up to there was no edge on the game and anyone was stupid for betting either side.
Well, I don't know. There was 2 times where they took a double-digit lead, and I just thought the experience then would kick in, Pete, and would lock them down. But hey, look at last year in the NFL with Seattle. That last play swung a lot lot of millions at Vegas anyway. But let's move on to tonight. Let's bank tonight because I need to bounce back.
All right, listen, I'll tell you what. I bet like 4 or 5 things on the overnight lines. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with them, but I definitely
It's that Vin Diesel look. He's feeling good.
I definitely have the bets, and you know what I think I might start doing? Don't worry, we'll get to the analysis soon. Okay. I might start that because it's not. I'm not just making it up. It really is true that all my NBA bets are either halftime bets or they're close to tip-off. I might start tweeting them. What do you think about that?
I would love that.
Would you follow it?
I would. I'd follow it, and I'd start tweeting mine as well, and you follow me.
Okay, at least one. Because you know, last night, I swear to God, I'm not lying, the Lakers' second half over 101 was huge. Max bet. I was sitting there, it was like 12.
Good for you. I like that. Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. So we got a lot of games and a lot of interesting situations. The first, before we get to our picks, let's just discuss the interesting situations. Golden State, right?
Ooh.
Getting into that point in the season where they're starting to rest people. I read that Draymond Green's going to be rested. On the road at Denver, the overnight line was 9, and of course Denver took them to overtime in Golden State recently. Now Denver's also been bad at home, not Minnesota Timberwolves bad, but 5-11 ATS at home. They're getting 9 though. I bet it a token bet. I made a very small bet on Denver. I feel like it's the right side. I don't know if I'm going to make it bigger or stick with it. What's your take on that one?
Well, that's an interesting game because I read the same thing where they're resting people, and I don't blame them. But I also read where for this many games into the season, they set the NBA record. So they're on course not only to maybe tie the Bulls, but maybe beat them. And in the back of their minds, you know that plays heavy. But resting once in a while, it's a smart move. Popovich has never gone wrong by doing that. Therefore, I was going to play them tonight, but they hurt me the other night on the half, and I think that might be right. So I'm just stepping back. I'm not fading them. I'm just taking a little break to see which direction they go.
Sure. Another interesting game, Knicks and Nets. Always a big rivalry matchup. And the Nets, 5 straight ATS losses. The Knicks, 6 straight ATS wins, but the Nets fired their coach. First game back, got blown out, but it was against the Spurs, very forgivable. So I'm thinking this might be a bounce back spot for the Nets. I did like them on the opener at +5. Didn't bet it though. Now I'm seeing 4. And Heritage Sharp Book, as always, has 3.5. Maybe the Nets at +4 still has value. What do you think about that?
I'll tell you what, and excuse me, we had a blogger that said something about my language, but you got to forgive me on this one. The fucking Nets. I'm not kidding you. This team is a mess. It's not only looking like it's just that they threw in the towel for the year. They don't have a lot of future coming out of the trades they made from these bigwigs that they signed, a.k.a. Joe Johnson, you know, unbelievable, that guy. Earn a paycheck, Joe, for real. And it's sad because the coach gets fired. They don't even pick it up for the interim coach. They just don't care.
Well, no, it was against the Spurs. It's forgivable.
Of course it's against the Spurs, and I know that's forgivable, but still, these guys are highly paid athletes, Pete. All right? Well, I mean, we don't make excuses when we don't produce. For real, I got to take responsibility.
Sure. But listen, I didn't mean to get you all fired
No,
up.
well,
All
you
I'm
did.
asking is
You
Nets
did.
+4, maybe some
did.
value.
Oh, I know. No, I don't like it.
You don't
I'm
like it?
staying away from
Okay.
it. And if I had to lean it, because I heard Melo's not going, by the way. I don't know if you
Yes,
heard that.
no, banged up. Melo's banged
Melo,
up.
yep.
Knicks on a back-to-back. It's not a good spot for them.
But you know what? That Porzingis and Afflo finally stepping up. I mean, these guys, Porzingis is the real deal.
Oh, I know.
I'm thinking about that literally when I watched that ESPN tape on draft day when they picked him and everybody booed. Those same people are in the audience now clapping and cheering, so good for him.
All right, let's get to the picks. So I'll start with one that I will go with, although I'm not entirely jazzed about the line movement. Atlanta at Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte really struggling. Lost 7 of 8 ATS.
Yes, they are.
Brooklyn Nets style, right? And Atlanta playing well. They should have a big edge over Charlotte in the paint as they did in their last game. It's not a big road spread. -2.5. If Atlanta doesn't show up, which is entirely possible.
Yes,
if Atlanta
it is.
doesn't show up, they lose the game. If they do show up, I think they cover 2.5. I bet that one. I'll give it as an official pick.
You know what? You're taking Atlanta as official pick -2.5.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart pick. Do you have any updates on the injuries with Charlotte by any chance?
I think the guy's out, right? Jefferson's
Jefferson,
out.
that
I
was my
believe
update.
I read that.
Okay.
I read that he's out. I'm not entirely. Yeah, I got it at 2.5 on the overnight. It moved up to 3. Now at SBR odds, I'm seeing 2.5.
All right,
back
because
down,
I'm going to
which is
make an
great.
adjustment with mine, and I like this too, because
Okay.
I think it's that time of year where they're going to have to shit or get off the pot with getting consistent, and I just think Budenholzer's too good to not let him get there. I'm going to jump on with you. I like that as well.
Really?
Minus the 2.5.
Okay, so we're both on it.
Both
yeah,
on the same side. Hawks are going to bank the buck for us
Okay,
tonight.
last minute tailing is absolutely fine. Then I got a couple of other sides I was thinking about. Is there anything else you want to give us right now?
I do. There's one I really like,
Let's hear
and I
it.
like what's happening with this team. They're starting to pick up some mojo. Sacramento Kings. All right, Cousins got 4 double-doubles. This guy, and I know he's sporadic, he goes off, but you know what? When he comes back, he just fucking dives right back in. Excuse my language. He dives back in, and George Karl's really starting to love him. He sees the intensity, and everybody else is just starting to gel. And Rondo, he is just running that team like a floor general. So I like the first half. It's -4.5. I got it at 5 dimes.
Okay.
And Caspi is back. There's 13 points and 7 boards that have been missing for 4 games, and this team has been competitive, if not winning. So I love Sacramento Kings tonight at home. First half, -4.5.
Okay, fair enough. Now I'll tell you about the other overnight bets that I made. Line movements generally in my favor. I took under 211.5 in Dallas, OKC. Now it's 208.5 or 208 at Heritage.
Right.
Wow, seems like I got a good bet there.
I like that. That
208.5 though, that's losing some points. I also bet the under in Milwaukee, Washington. I got I think 207.
You're feeling pretty good throwing all these
Yeah,
out.
no, but that one's now 207 or 207.5. I might pull that one. We'll see if I might pull that one. I'm not sure. Dallas OKC 211.5. Now it's 208.5 at Pinnacle. 5 dimes in Bet 365. I don't know. Should I go with it or not? I can't decide.
Come on now. I think you ought to go with it.
All right, I'll take it. Under 208.5. I bet 211.5, but I'll take 208.5, even though it makes me a little bit nervous. And I
Sure, a
also
drop like that, 3 points.
I'll tell you another one. I also bet the under in
Loshak Unleashed.
Yeah, I also bet the under in Minnesota, Houston. It's now 206.5. Bet 365 has 207. That's the number that I got it at. And I'm not going to give that as an official pick here. I'm going to pass. Houston, you never know.
You never
Also,
know.
Ty
So
Lawson's back.
inconsistent. That's what I
And
heard.
they went under in their last bunch of games, and Ty Lawson was out when he was in before that.
Yeah.
They had 4 straight super high
I'll tell you,
scoring
there's
games.
another one that's
So,
got to
yeah.
get his act together. I mean, seriously, he is really bouncing in and out and taking a lot of focus off that team. So
All right, to sum up, I have Dallas OKC under 208.5. Mike Brenner and I both have Atlanta -2.5. And Mike Brenner, you have what?
Sacramento Kings first half -4.5. We're going to get 2 tonight.
Hopefully, we'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday card.
All right, good seeing you, Pete.